Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I have started a personal DSA challenge where I am solving 5 problems per pattern, covering 180 problems in total. I'll be posting one video per day explaining my thought process from brute force to optimized approach. If you're new here, you can check out the previous videos to follow along. In today's video, we'll work on longest common subsequence. So the problem states that we are given two strings and our task is to find the length of longest subsequence common to both the strings. A subsequence means a character appears in the same order but not necessarily continuous. So the idea for brute force approach is at every character we have two choices. If characters match, we will include it. Otherwise, we will try skipping from either of the strings. So let's write the code for that. We will call a method LCS and we will pass text1, text2, text1 length -1 and text2 length -1. So what we are trying to do here is we are starting recursion from the last indices of both the strings. That's why I pass the length as length -1. Now let's implement this LCS method. The return type would obviously be integer because we need to calculate the longest length. So LCS, we passed text1 and text2, maybe let's call S1 and S2, and we pass the lengths, let's call I and J. Now we need to write the base cases. If these lengths are invalid, which means if these lengths are less than 0, then we will return 0. If the character is same, if the character matches, then we need to include it. Now let's write the code for that. If the character matches, which means yes dot char at I is equals to s2 dot char at j, then we will include that, so 1 plus, and then we will call LCS passing s1, s2 and I -1 and j -1. This is when the character matches. Now if the character did not match, then we will try two possibilities. Either we skip s1 or we skip in s2. So if you skip s1, then we will call LCS of s1, s2, I -1 and j. If you skip s2, we'll call LCS of s1, s2, I and j -1. So at the end we would return the maximum of skip s1 and skip s2. Let me run the code. Oh. Okay, it is accepted. So the time complexity here would be O of 2 power n plus m because we have two possibilities at every step. So this is very slow, and also we are recomputing the same states repeatedly. So now we need to write a memoization approach or using DP. For that, let's initialize DP. This is the given method name. Okay, let's initialize dp with text1 dot length and text2 dot length. Okay, now we will fill with -1. I less than text1 dot length and for j from 0 till text2 dot length, let's initialize every cell with -1. Now let's return LCS of text1, text2, and similar to this we are just passing this along with dp. Now let's implement this method by passing dp. Okay, and again we are just copy pasting our recursion method. This would be the same base condition, and one more check we need to do is if dp of I of j is not equals to -1, which means it is already calculated, then we will straight away return the answer instead of recomputing it again. And then we are making a call, doing this if check, but maybe we have two options here. If it matches, then we will, instead of returning, let's initialize it with it to the current element, and we also need to pass dp if this matches. Else we obviously have two options, the same thing. Okay, along with this we also need to pass dp, and here instead of returning we will assign this to dp of I of j, and then at the end we would return dp of I of j. Let me run. Yes, let's submit it. It is accepted. So the time complexity would be O of n into m because we used a for and for, and the space complexity would also be n into m because of this extra dp array and also the recursion space. So we can also implement this using the tabulation method. You can try it on your own, and yeah, that is it for today's problem, and I will see you in the next one.